Hello, let's continue in 4.1 where we are talking about simplifying rational expressions. As a way of reminder, we are going to be doing a ton of factoring in Module 4, and specifically in 4.1, you want to make sure that you're factoring everything. Factor the numerator if possible, factor the denominator if possible. If you're not doing a ton of factoring on problems in Module 4, you might be doing something wrong. So let's take a look at this first of all. We do need to figure out what the restricted values are whenever we're dealing with these rational expressions. But to do that, we need to factor the denominator first. And as we look at this denominator, we can see we have y squared minus 4, and that looks like a difference of squares. It's a binomial where we have a first term squared and the last term is squared. Now I could rewrite this as y all squared minus 2 all squared. And now it's in that form. We can see that with that, our a in this formula we're going to put as y, and our b we'll put as 2. So when we factor that, we're going to have y plus 2 still on the top over a plus b times a minus b. Well, that means in this one it's going to be y plus 2 times y minus 2. And we could have had that y minus 2 first and y plus 2 second. Remember, multiplication is commutative, so that order is not going to change the answer. All right, now we want to look at our restricted values. So we can see our denominator is factored, so now we want to take each of those factors, and we want to say y plus 2 cannot equal 0, and the other factor, y minus 2, cannot equal 0. And when I solve this, I find y cannot be negative 2. On this one, if I add the 2 over, y cannot be positive 2. So these are our restricted values. And why are they restricted? Well, because they are the values that would make the denominator go to 0, and we cannot divide by 0. All right, we're not all the way done yet, though. We need to still simplify. So that means divide out any of the same common factors. I can see that I have a common factor of y plus 2 on the bottom and another one on the top. So both of those will divide out. On the top, I'm just left with a 1. That means our final answer for this will be 1 over y minus 2. That would be our simplified answer. All right, let's look at number 6 now. We're going to simplify 1 plus p cubed over 1 plus p. Now, in the denominator, we don't have anything that we need to factor, so we can see right off what that restricted value is going to be. We look at that and we say, what value of p would make that go to 0? Well, it'd be negative 1. 1 minus 1 would give me a 0. So on this one, p cannot equal negative 1. That is our restricted value, and there's only one restricted value this time. Now, let's go ahead and simplify. We can see here that we've got 1 plus p cubed, and so this is a sum of cubes, and here is the formula for sum of cubes. Before we factor the sum of cubes, let's just rewrite our polynomials so that they're in descending order. Sometimes in factoring, it makes things a lot easier to have things in descending order. Sometimes it doesn't matter as much, but let's do that on this one. So we can see we would have p cubed plus 1. And then on the bottom, p plus 1. All right, now let's factor that so we can see what we will have here. So p cubed plus 1, that means that our a is going to be the p, and the b is going to be 1. In the first parenthesis, a plus b, that means I'm going to have p plus 1, because it's the p that is our a, and the 1 that is our b. Then in the second factor, I'm going to take our p and square it, multiply that a and b together and change the sign, so that would give us minus p, and then take that b term and square it. 1 squared is 1. And then on the bottom, we still have p plus 1. Now we can divide out our common factors. P plus 1 on the top, p plus 1 on the bottom, leaving us with an answer of p squared minus p plus 1. And there's no denominator left there. But notice we still have a restricted value of p equals -1 because of how it started out. Let's take a look at this last one, problem 7. Simplify x minus 2 over 4 minus x squared. Again, let's get these in descending order. It will make it easier for us. So let's rewrite this. The top one already is in descending order, but on the bottom we could write that as negative x squared plus 4. And now we can see that we have a -1 to factor out. If we factor that out first, it'll make the rest of the factorization easier. Leave our x minus 2 on the top, and on the bottom I'll have -1 times x squared minus 4. I still need to factor the denominator more so we can figure out what those restricted values are going to be. This is another difference of squares like we had up here. So that means the denominator will factor to be -1 over x minus 2 times x plus 2. So our restricted values on this, we're going to have 2 of them. X cannot be positive 2 because it would make this first factor go to 0. So x cannot be positive 2, and x cannot be -2. Now we just need to simplify the rest of this, divide out any common factors we see. I have an x minus 2 on the top, x minus 2 on the bottom, which leaves us a 1 on the top there, so our answer is going to be 1 over -1 times x plus 2. Now if you want to distribute that -1 through, you can, but you don't have to. With what we're going to be doing next, it might be easiest to remember to keep it in factored form, but both answers work. I hope that is helpful in understanding these restricted values and how to simplify rational expressions. Have a great day.